Okay, so problem 18-2, just like the first problem, the first item being asked is to compute for your employee benefit expense. And as discussed in the recording class, your employee benefit expense will have uh, two component class, and these are your service cost and your net interest. Okay, but again, we do not expect the problem to give you directly the total service cost and the net interest cost. Okay, that's why it's not enough for you to remember service cost and net interest. It's important for you to remember the subcomponents of your service cost and your net interest. And what are the three subcomponents of your service cost class? You have your current service cost, your past service cost, and the gain or loss on settlement. Okay. And then your net interest will also have three components: interest expense on the PBO, interest income on the FVPA, and interest expense on the effect of the asset ceiling. Okay. So if ever you'll be asked for employee benefit expense, again, I do not want your approach to be dictated by what is given class. I want you to dictate what you will be doing in the problem, and that is to look for the subcomponents of your service cost and your uh, net interest. Okay, so let's start with our service cost class. The first subcomponent there is your current service cost. And as mentioned, this we expect to be given. And indeed, in this problem, the current service cost is given at 600,000. Okay. Next subcomponent is your past service cost. So what I want you to do is to look in the problem whether or not the problem has given you any past service cost. Again, just like your current service cost, we expect this amount to be given because the computation here is not something for us to do. It would be on your actuarian already. Okay, and if it's not given, then that would mean that that is not present in the problem. Do we have past service cost in this problem? No. Okay, and the problem mention anything about settlement of your defined benefit obligation class? The answer is no. So out of the three subcomponents of your service cost, we will only have your current service cost in the amount of 600,000. We proceed to the next component of your employee benefit expense, and that is your net interest. And what is the first subcomponent of your net interest class? The interest expense on your PBO. And how do you get the interest expense of your PBO? You look for your PBO. What PBO should you be looking for? The beginning amount or the beginning balance, because this is the amount that will earn interest throughout the year. Sorry, that will incur interest throughout the year. And do we expect that to be given in the problem? Yes. In this problem, how much is our PBO? 6,500,000. Okay, and how do we know that this is the beginning balance? Again, it is introduced, first part of the problem class, it is introduced at the beginning of the current year. Okay, so the 6,500,000 there is the beginning balance. And it is the amount that will be multiplied with how much is our applicable interest rate here, class. The discount rate is 10%. So you multiply 6,500,000 by 10%. How much is 10% of 6,500,000? That would be 650,000. Okay. Next is to look for the interest income on your FVPA. And again, what kind of FVPA should you be looking for? It is the beginning balance because it is the amount that will earn interest throughout the year. And are we given that amount? Yes, it is 5,750,000. And what do you do here? Multiply it with the same discount rate plus. I cannot emphasize this enough. You will only be using one interest rate here. Okay, so 5,750 times 10%, you would get 575. And since this is an income class, this should be given an opposite sign from your other costs. Okay, so if your service cost is 600 and then your interest expense is 650, understandably, it will be added class. But I hope you will also understand that if it's the interest on your FVPA, that amount is an income and should therefore be a reduction to your total expenses. Okay, so this is an application of your offsetting class. So basically, your net interest would be 650 minus 575. And how much would be the difference? Is that 75? Okay. So your net interest is 75. Which one is greater, the expense or the income? Expense. So you add, if you're asked how much is your total service cost, 600,000. How much is your net interest? That would be uh, 75,000. So your employee benefit expense then, which would be the sum of your net interest and your service cost, is 675,000. Yeah, by the way, we failed to check, class, if the third subcomponent of your net interest is present. But a quick glance at the problem class would reveal that there is no mention of any asset ceiling class. So obviously, the third subcomponent is not around. Okay, so our employee benefit expense here would be 675,000. Next, remeasurement. What are the three sources of your remeasurement? It's very similar to your net interest class. What are the subcomponents of your net interest? Interest expense on PBO, interest income on FVPA, and interest on the effect of your asset ceiling. Similarly, your remeasurements will come from those three. Remeasurement gains or losses from your PBO, remeasurements gains and losses from your FVPA, and remeasurement gain or loss from the effect on the change of your asset ceiling. Okay, and you look for those three. Are you given with any remeasurement in this problem? The most common class would be the remeasurement gain or loss from your FVPA. And how do you get the remeasurement gain or loss from your FVPA class? This is shown in the Excel file I have shared to you. The remeasurement from your plan asset would simply be the difference between the interest income on your FVPA, the subcomponent in your net interest class, and the actual return on your plan assets. And we have already computed for the interest income on the FVPA, correct? It was 575,000. Next, just compare it with the actual return on your plan assets. And how much is the actual return, class? 700,000. Okay, so 700 compared with 575, there's a difference of 125. Now, how do we call this 125? Is this a gain or a loss? Gain, because it's a gain if the actual return exceeds the interest income based on the settlement discount rate. If actual is greater, then it is a gain. Now, what do we call, class, the sum of your employee benefit expense and your net or total remeasurement, class? That would be your total defined benefit cost. So if in this problem you're asked how much is your total defined benefit cost, our answer would be 675 minus 125. Why am I deducting the 125 remeasurement, class? Because it's a gain. It will be a reduction to your total cost. So 675 minus 125, how much will that be, class? 550. So our total defined benefit cost is 550,000. Okay. Next possible question that would be asked, class, is compute for your FVPA end and your PBO end. Let's start with our FVPA class. Okay, of course, if we're looking for the ending FVPA, we would start with the FVPA beginning. And again, the FVPA beginning this problem is 5,750,000. Okay, and based on the cheat sheet I have shared to you, class, what would be the items that will affect the balance of your FVPA? We have your contribution. Okay, I hope you can understand that if you make a contribution into the fund, then the balance of the fund will increase. And are we given with that information, class? Yes, and that is 900,000. So you add the 900,000. Next would be the income that will be earned by your fund, class, would obviously and understandably increase also the balance of the fund or your plan assets. Okay, and how much was the return on your plan assets, class? 700. So the question now is, what amount will be added? Is it the actual or is it the expected, class? The amount that will increase your plan assets would be the actual return. Okay, so next, you will deduct what? Deduct what will cause a decrease to the plan assets, class? All types of payments. Why will payments decrease the plan assets? Because the payments is sourced from the fund. So anytime you make payment, then the balance of the fund would decrease. And do we have payments in this problem? Yes, benefits paid to the retirees in the amount of 100,000. Do we have any settlement, class? No, so this one would not be part of our computation. So far, what do we have? 5,750,000 plus 900 plus 700 and then minus the payment of benefits in the amount of 100,000. How much is that? 7,250,000. Okay, next. Compute for your PBON. So in our exam class, one problem could be given to you and you will be asked for several questions. Service cost, net interest, employee benefit expense, total defined benefit cost, FVPAN, PBON, and ending balance of your prepaid or accrued benefit cost. So for PBON and class, you will have to take into account a lot of things. But of course, we will begin with the beginning balance of your PBO. And how much is the beginning balance of your PBO? 6,500,000. And next would be add all the additional source of your obligation. And this would be your service cost. Okay? In the cheat sheet I've given you, you will be adding the current service cost. And we have this in the amount of 600,000. Okay, and you're supposed to add your past service cost also, but we do not have any past service cost in this problem. Next would be to add the interest expense on your PBO. Similarly, class, if the income earned by your FVPA is added, I hope you can understand that the expense that will be incurred by your obligation will also increase your PBO or your obligation class. So aside from adding your current service cost and past service cost, you will also be adding your interest expense. Okay? And how much was our interest expense in this problem, class? 650,000. Okay, the problem did not give us any information about actuarial changes, class. Okay, next would be deduct benefits paid. Okay, I hope you will understand why benefits paid will be a deduction, because if you pay off the benefits to the retirees, then you are already satisfying or fulfilling your obligation class. So payment will both decrease the FVPA and the PBO. And I hope that makes sense to you. And how much was the benefits paid this year? It was 100,000. Okay. So beginning with a beginning balance of 6,500,000, add current service cost of 600 and add the interest expense of 650 and deduct benefits paid of 100,000, you will be able to arrive at the PBO end of how much? 7,650,000. Now, why do I want you to solve for your PBO and FVPA end? Because it can help you solve for the ending balance of the prepaid or accrued uh, benefit cost class. And it is this amount that will be shown in your statement of financial position. If the FVPA is greater, then you have prepaid. If the PBO is greater, then you will have accrued benefit cost. If FVPA is greater, you have an asset. If PBO is greater, you have a liability. Okay, so having computed for the ending balance of the FVPA and the PBO class, what would be the balance of your prepaid or accrued benefit cost? How much was the PBO again, class? 7,650,000. And then our FVPA was 7 to 50. So the difference is 400,000. And which one is greater? PBO. So what we will have would be a liability. So technically, the correct name for it would be accrued benefit cost. So how much would be your accrued benefit cost? This would be 400,000. Okay. Now, if you've watched the previous recording class, there's an alternative solution to your ending balance of your prepaid or accrued benefit cost, and it is by starting with the beginning balance of your prepaid or accrued benefit cost and simply deducting the net change in your prepaid or accrued benefit cost. And how are we going to solve for the net change in your prepaid or accrued benefit cost, class? It would be your total defined benefit cost minus contributions to the plan, okay, or contributions given. How much was our total defined benefit cost, class, in this problem? It was 675 plus, minus 125. It is 550. And then, how much is our contributions, class? 900. So which one exceeded, our cost or our contributions? So since contributions are greater than the benefit cost, class, then it will decrease any liability on your part, or it will increase any prepaid asset on your part. But for us to determine the actual effect, class, you need to determine the beginning balance. At the start of the year, what do you have? Do you have a prepaid benefit cost or an accrued benefit cost? How do you get your prepaid or accrued? Just compare your FVPA and your PBO. But since I'm looking for the beginning balance, you use the starting balances of your FVPA and PBO. How much is your FVPA beginning given, class? 5,750,000. How much is your PBO beginning? 6,500,000. You get the difference between the two, and that is your prepaid or accrued benefit cost at the start of the year. And again, the difference is 700. How much is the difference? 750. And this is prepaid or accrued? Accrued. So we have a liability of 750. And what happened during the year? Our contributions exceeded the cost by how much? Plus Pilay contributions. How much is the contributions? 900. And then deduct the total benefit cost, which was 550. Okay, so the net change then, class, would be, how much is 900 minus 550? Is it 350? Okay. What then would be the effect of this 350? Will it be added to the 750 or deducted? Deducted, class, because in this case, the contributions are greater. If your contributions are greater, then your obligation or your liability will go down. Okay. So 750 minus 350, you would also get your 400,000. Okay, so again, there are two ways for you to get your 400,000. Either compute for the ending balances of your FVP and PBON, or simply start with the beginning prepaid or accrued benefit cost and just add or deduct the net change in your prepaid or accrued benefit cost, which is computed by deducting your contributions paid to your total defined benefit cost. So what will be the possible questions in this problem class? Number one, how much is your service cost? Number two, how much is your net interest? Number three, how much is your remeasurements? Number four, how much is your employee benefit expense? Number five, how much is your total defined benefit cost? Number six, how much is your FVPAN? Number seven, how much is your PBON? And number eight, how much is the ending balance of your prepaid or accrued benefit cost? Let's proceed to 18-3 class. Let's try to move along quicker already, class. Ha? Okay, the same first question, employee benefit expense. What are the components of your employee benefit expense class? Service cost and net interest. What are the three subcomponents of your service cost? Current service cost, past service cost, and gain or loss on settlement. Are we given with the current service cost? Yes, 1,450,000. Next, past service cost also given. Do you have any information as regards settlement class? No. Okay, so that means we have the two components, two existing or available components of our service cost, which are your current service cost and your past service cost. Okay, you just add the two. This would be 1,750,000. Next, add your net interest. What are the three subcomponents of your net interest? Interest expense on PBO, interest income on FVPA, interest expense on the effect of your asset ceiling. Okay, how do we get the interest expense on PBO? Very easy. Look for the beginning balance of your PBO. Is that given? Yes, we expect that to be given. This is 7,600,000. And multiply that with the discount rate of 10%, you will have 760. What's the next component, class? Interest income on the FVPA beginning. And do we have that amount? Yes, 6,700,000. And what do we do with the 6,700,000? Multiply it by 10%, you would get 670. And since we do not have any asset ceiling in this problem, then we will end there. That would be that. Those will be the only components of your net interest in this problem. So how much do we have? 760 minus 670. How much is that, class? 90? 90, class? Now, if you've already mastered that class, do you have an alternative solution for your 90,000 class? Yes, you get your beginning prepaid or accrued benefit cost and multiply that amount with the discount rate. How much is your beginning prepaid or accrued benefit cost, class? How do you get your prepaid or accrued benefit cost? Compare what? FVPA and PBO. How much is your FVPA? 6,700. How much is your PBO? 7,600. How much is the difference? 900. So what do you have? Prepaid or accrued benefit cost, class? Accrued, because the obligation is greater. Once you have your beginning accrued benefit cost, just multiply that with 10%, you would still get the 90,000. Okay, but why do I not want you to rely on that one first? Okay, you might forget the third subcomponent of your net interest. Okay, you might grow accustomed to, in using that one, class, that you will forget the third component, subcomponent of your net interest. Anyways, your net interest is again 90,000. Add that with your service cost of 1,750,000. How much do you have? 1,750 plus 90, that would be 1,840,000. And that would be your employee benefit expense. Because it's important that you remember the components of your employee benefit expense, because that would be a very common question. Proceed to the remeasurements. The very common remeasurement would be the remeasurement gain or loss from your plan assets. And how do you solve for the remeasurement gain or loss from your plan assets? By comparing the or getting the difference between the interest income on your FVPA and the actual return on your plan assets. How much was the interest income on your FVPA class? 670. Compare that with the actual return. The actual return is only 500. So there's a difference of 170. What do we call this one? A gain or a loss? Which one is greater, the actual or the interest income based on the discount rate? Interest income. If that's the case, then your actual return was short. So on your end, that will be a loss. Okay, if actual return is lower, that's a loss. If actual return is greater, then that's an extra gain on your part. Okay, how much was the difference again? 170. So we will have a remeasurement loss of 170. We do not have any asset ceiling. We do not have remeasurements from your PBO class. So we will only have the 170. What do we do with the 170 class? If we're trying to solve for total defined benefit cost, do we add or deduct this from 1,840,000? This time it will be added because they are the same nature. They are both costs. Why did we deduct it in the previous problem class? The remeasurement there was a gain. Here, this is a loss. So this would be an added cost on our part. So if you are asked how much is your total defined benefit cost, it would be 1,840 plus 170, and that is how much class? 2,010,000. Okay? So if you're asked how much is the total defined benefit cost, it is 2,010,000. Next, solve for ending FVPA and PBON class. Let's start with FVPA. Where do we begin in solving for your ending FVPA? Beginning FVPA. And how much is our beginning FVPA? 6,700,000. Next, add. Because I hope you can remember this all, class. Ha? While I do not want you to memorize, class, but you really have to memorize these things. Okay? What do we have to add? Contributions. How much contributions did we make this year? 1,500,000. And then add also the actual return. How much is the actual return? 500. Next, deduct benefits paid and also deduct any payments in settlement of your PBO, which is not present in this problem. What we have though is benefits paid. How much is the benefits paid? 800. So beginning balance of 6,700 plus contributions of 1,500,000 plus actual return of 500, and then deduct benefits paid of 800. How much will that give you, class? How much? 7,900,000. Plus, the time you have now is the best time for you to practice on this problem. Okay? So at least try to follow the discussion. Next, PBON. Where do we begin? Beginning PBO. How much is your beginning PBO? 7,600,000. What are we going to add? Your service cost. How much is your current service cost? 1,450,000. Past service cost 300,000. What else do we deduct? Sorry, what else do we add? Interest expense. How much is the interest expense? 760. Okay, and then do not have any actuarial gains or losses. Do we have benefits, class? Yes, benefits paid in the amount of 800,000. And do we have any settlement of your defined benefit obligation? Also, no. So we have everything we need to solve your ending PBO. That is 7,600,000 plus 1,450 plus past service cost of 300 plus interest expense of 760 minus benefits paid of 800. How much will that give you? 9,310,000. Okay, if you compare the two ending balances, class, that should give you the ending balance of your prepaid or accrued. How much is the difference? 9,310,000 and 7,900. How much is that? 1,410,000. Which one is greater, the PBO or the FVPA? PBO. So what do you have? Prepaid benefit cost or accrued benefit cost? Accrued in the amount of 1,410,000. Now, alternative solution. How else can you solve from your 1,410,000? You determine first your prepaid or accrued benefit cost at the start of the year, which we have already done earlier. We had the 900,000, and this is accrued or prepaid class. Accrued. Next, you get the net change in your prepaid or accrued benefit cost. How do you get the net change in your prepaid or accrued benefit cost class? Total defined benefit cost minus contributions. How much did we solve earlier as our total defined benefit cost? 2,010,000. And then we have contributions. How much is the contributions? 1,500,000. There's a difference of 510. And which one was greater? The benefit cost or the contributions? Benefit cost. And if that's the case, that will only increase your liability. That will only increase your accrued benefit cost. How much again was the difference, class? 2,010,000 minus 1,500,000, that's 510. Okay, and you add what do you call this 510? This is basically the net change in your prepaid or accrued benefit cost. And since we have a beginning accrued benefit cost, and since the benefit cost during the year is greater than the contributions cost, we will have additional accrued or liability in relation to your defined benefit obligation class. So you add the 900 and the 510, you would still arrive at 1,410,000. Okay, next, proceed to let's skip 18-4 first. Let's have 18-5. Okay, so I hope you'll do this quicker now. Employee benefit expense, components class, service cost, and net interest. Subcomponents of your service cost, past service cost, uh, current service cost, and gain or loss on settlement. Okay? Are we given with our current service cost class? How much? Where is that? Current service cost was 1,200,000. Next, do we have any past service cost in this problem? No, we do not have any gain or loss on settlement also. So we only have one item for our service cost, and that is the 1,200,000. Next, net interest. What's the first subcomponent? Interest expense on your PBO. How much was the beginning PBO class? 7,500,000 multiplied by 10% again. Okay, 7,500,000 times 10% would be 750. And then next is interest income on your FVPA. How much is your beginning FVPA? 6,500,000 times 10%, you would get 650. Okay, do we have any asset ceiling? No, not yet. Okay, so we will have how much? 1,200,000 plus 750 minus 650. Or what was our alternative solution in getting your net interest class if there is no asset ceiling? Get your beginning prepaid or accrued benefit cost. How much your beginning prepaid or accrued benefit cost? 1 million. You multiply this amount by the discount rate of 10%, and then you will have the 100, and that is your net interest if there is no asset ceiling. Then you add that with the 1,200,000, our employee benefit expense would be 1,300,000. Next, remeasurement class. The most present remeasurement gain or loss class would be the one coming from your FVPA. And how do you compute for that amount? The interest income on your FVPA and the actual return. We have already computed for the interest income on the FVPA class, correct? How much was the interest income on the FVPA? 650. And you compare the 650 with the actual return. How much was the actual return? 800. There's a difference of 150. What do you have? A gain or a loss? 150. Is it a gain or a loss? Gain because the actual is greater. Okay, but in this problem class, we have another item that will uh, be included in our remeasurement, and that is the change in your PBO due to actuarial changes class. Okay, and since this is a decrease, this this I want you to analyze now class. If your PBO decreases class, is that a positive or a negative thing on your part? If your obligation goes down, is that a good or a bad thing on your part class? That's a good thing because your obligation goes down. So the treatment of this 200,000 would be as a gain class. I hope you can understand that one. The 200 here is a gain. Okay, and this would be a part of your remeasurement. The 150 we have computed earlier class, was it a gain or a loss? Gain. So gain of 150, another gain of 200. We have a total remeasurement gain of 350. Okay. So what if you're asked in this problem, how much is your total defined benefit cost? How much is your total defined benefit cost? Again, you just combine your employee benefit expense and your remeasurement gain or losses. And what do we have in this problem? Employee benefit expense of 1,300,000 and remeasurement gain of 350. Do we add the 350 or deduct it from the 1,300,000 class? Deduct, because I hope this makes sense to you, why we are deducting this one. The 1,300,000 are costs or expenses on your part. And then on the other hand, you have a gain. So the two would be offsetting class. Okay, so the net amount would be 950. And again, how do we call the 950 class? Total defined benefit cost. Next, solve for the ending FVPA and PBO. Start with FVPA. Where do we begin? Begin with the beginning balance. Because the difficult problems from this topic would really come from you being asked to work backwards. For example, in all the problems we've solved class, the FVPA and the PBO beginning are all given. You follow? And with that, we can solve for the beginning prepaid or accrued. And in this problem, we are even given directly with the 1 million. In the previous two problems, we had to solve for the beginning prepaid or accrued. Okay? So it's possible, class, that what will be given would be the ending FVPA and the ending PBO class, and you will be asked for the beginning FVPA or the beginning PBO. So you will have to work back. And you really have to be able to plot everything in the table class so that you will not miss out anything and so that you would get the correct answer. But we'll try to deal with those kind of problems as we come across them in the MCQ class. Okay, so where are we? FVPAN. Start with the beginning of 6,500,000. Next, add contributions. Given class, yes, almost always. If not, then that is the question in the problem. Okay, 6,500,000 plus 1,200,000. Next, add the actual return. How much is the actual return? How much? 800,000. Next, deduct benefits paid. How much? 1,500,000. And we do not have any settlement, I think. Okay. So you have 6,500,000 plus contribution plus 1,200,000 plus 800 minus 1,500,000. How much would that be? How much, class? 7. Exact, 7 million. Okay, ending FVPA is 7 million. Next, PBON. Where do we begin? Again, begin with the beginning balance of your PBO. How much is the beginning balance of your PBO? 7 million 500. Okay, 7 million 500 plus what was the first thing to be added? Your service cost. Current service cost is 1 million 200, and we do not have any past service cost. Am I correct, class? Next, add interest expense on your PBO. How much was your PBO? 7 million 500 times 10%. The interest expense would be 750. Next, in this problem class, we will have actuarial changes class. Okay, remember the 200,000. Okay, but this time the 200,000 will be deducted in getting your PBO, and I hope that makes sense to you, because what kind of actuarial change do we have here? A decrease in PBO. Okay, so there's nothing tricky here. The problem tells you that there is a decrease, that your PBO should be decreased because of changes in actuarial assumption. So this should be a deduction class. Deduct the 200. Okay, and then what else do we deduct? Deduct the benefits paid. And again, we do not have any settlements. Okay, so we will start with, how much was the beginning balance? 7 million 500. Add 1 million 200. Add 750. Then deduct the decrease due to changes in actuarial assumptions in the amount of 200, and also deduct the benefits paid of 1 million 500. How much will that give you? 7 million 7,750,000, and that would be your PBO N. And why do I always ask you to solve for your PBO and FVPA N, class? Because this will give you the ending balance of your prepaid or accrued benefit cost. And how do you get that one? Just compare the balances of the two. How much was your FVPA? It was the 7 million, class, correct? And then your PBO N is 7,750,000. There's a difference of 750. Is this a prepaid benefit cost, or is this a accrued benefit cost? Accrued. So this is a liability. So this will be shown in the liability section of your statement of financial position. Okay. But what's our alternative solution? How can we arrive from 750? Sorry. How can we arrive at 750 from 1 million? By getting the net change. How do you get the net change, class? Total defined benefit cost minus the contributions. How much were our total defined benefit cost? 950. And then our contribution is 1 million 12. So 950 and 12, there's a difference of 250. Okay, but which one was greater, the contributions or the cost, class? Contribution. So this should decrease any accrued benefit cost. Okay, and indeed we had accrued benefit cost. How much was our accrued benefit cost? 1 million. How much will be the decrease in your accrued benefit cost because of the excess of the contributions over the benefit total defined benefit cost during the year? 250. So 1 million minus 250 will give you also 750. Plus, it's important for me, class. It's important for you to solve all these things as you try to practice, class, so that you will know where to look for these items if ever you will need them when you are asked to work back. Okay? Not all problems will need or will require you to solve for all the things I've asked you to solve in these problems. Okay? But by doing them as we practice on these problems, class, you would know where to look for whatever is needed to solve for what is being asked in the problem.